Okay, hey guys, welcome. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to place you guys. I think I'm gonna hold the phone. What is this? Oh my gosh, some lint. Yeah, let me do a little side shaboom boom. Okay, so I think maybe let me just like sit up because there's no one on the live. I'm feeling a little cold, and this is gonna be a longish live. But yeah, let me try and set up. Well, not, yeah. Let me just put on my hoodie. Hold on. Let me just put on a hoodie. Let me just put on a hoodie. Let me put on a hoodie. Smells fresh. Honka stay so. Oh, okay, so in today's live, what we're gonna do today is basically we're gonna read the Epstein files, okay? So if you have no idea what the Johnny Epstein files are, this is the platform, this is the time, and this is your moment to shine. Like, okay, not to shine, but like, yeah, I also don't know. What I do know is that it's like, that's the thing. I don't know. Is it emails or are they like pictures or are they receipts? I don't know, but just like, so when it comes to the not Johnny, the Jeffrey Epstein situation, like I don't know what it is, right? I've read that they are so and so involved allegedly, so and so involved allegedly. So today I'm just giving that context. I want to understand from the beginning to the end, who is he? What did he do? Why is it such a big situation? You know what I'm saying, and what's being done and who's involved, and like basically, yeah, just get the whole 411, you know. So that's what's happening. So today, this is YouTube video that I saw, and I really trust the person. Like I watch the YouTuber, and I know how extensive their research is. So hopefully, we will have a better understanding of the whole Jeffrey Epstein and the Epstein files by the end of the video. It's 1 hour long, so yeah, get comfortable because I'm getting comfortable, and yeah, we're finna watch. So I don't know where I'm gonna set you guys up, because it's a little gloomy today. It's dark, but also I don't want to be holding my phone all day, or maybe I'll just hold my phone. Who knows? But yeah. So yeah, let me set it up so long so far, and then we will get to it. Where's my controller? Ugh. Oh my gosh, just 1 second. I misplaced my controller. I don't know where it is. Okay, found it. Okay, so ooh, let me just try and fix this. Hopefully you guys can see me clearly. Or should I put you up here? Don't fall. Okay, yeah. So if you just joined, welcome. I was just saying that today we're gonna be going through the Epstein files. We're gonna get context, understand how how we got here, because it's crazy what's being said, what's being done, but I want context. I want to get the full scope of it. So I'm gonna be watching a few videos. I'm gonna react to them because I know nothing. I only know that there were emails that were sent, but like only half of them were sent. And then I know that like names were dropped. I don't wanna drop names, I'm scared. But you know, starts with a J. And Trump. I'll name Trump. Trump is there. So yeah, we'll see. So I'm just setting up my YouTube on my TV. And yeah. You comment down below how your day is going, where you're from, and what time is it. Like, oh my god. But yeah, and I opened a Twitch account and I'm setting up there. So maybe soon enough I'll be able to stream on Twitch and on here, and yeah, we'll see what that becomes. But yeah, slowly but surely we're growing. We are gradually getting there. Yeah. Oh my god. What do you mean? Oh, 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 what do you mean? Okay, well, my drink. So, yeah. Okay, I found the video. Are you a man? Ooh, girl, why would you ask that? What makes you say that? I'm non binary. I am a proud LGBTQ girl. I'm non binary. Here we go, buckle up. Okay, so one of the richest men in the world. You look gross. Oh my gosh. Ooh. I will send the heli to you. Comes out there sending helicopters to go and hoe. Not even hoe to pedophile. Ooh. Okay. So far they're saying Elon Musk texted Jeffrey Epstein and was like, "Hey, I'm trying to turn up which day is gonna be the latest day on the island, right?" But on his Instagram, I mean on his Twitter, first of all, why did he buy Twitter and call it X? Like, who asked for that? Twitter was fine. So I like how some people still call it Twitter because it's like, who said that was okay? Who gave you the permission to do that? Who gave you the permission to say that? Nobody. So from here on out, if you have not, call it Twitter. It's Twitter. We tweet, cause like it's become a verb. You know. But yeah, so he went on his Instagram, and you know what? In life, when someone gives you an unsolicited opinion, don't believe it because chances are the bitch is lying. The bitch is guilty. And Elon Musk is guilty. Elon Musk is guilty because he went there to talk about how little to no interactions he had with him. But let's be honest, who would the richest man in the world be friends with? The other richest man in the world, because, like, what can they relate to us on? Like, come on.
the island. I never met any women, and although the claim was a mistake, it had nothing to do with that kind of behavior.
Who had cut him off after he went to prison the first time? And who came right back to support him after he was released? Who knew exactly what he was and stayed in his inner circle anyway?
Did have lunch with him as I was on a boat going across on a family vacation. I have nothing to hide.
And so now, with 3.5 million documents from Epstein's personal computer accounts being released to the public,
Come on.
have an answer to all of these questions. And the answer is, almost everyone stayed around him. This video is brought to you by Nebula, the only place where you can watch Mad Kings, my new favorite docuseries that dives deep into the lives of some of the most insane and eccentric leaders of the modern era. So go to nebula.tv/folksguys to see that and countless other documentaries and movies from some of the best creators out there.
Period. And I know this is gonna eat because I trust this man. I don't know if you guys can hear. Hopefully you can. But also I don't want to get like demonetized or whatever. Not that I'm monetized. Whatever.
Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's talked about for years.
Every single time more information is released, the pile of unanswered questions only gets bigger.
Come
We
on.
now know that the richest man on earth was begging to visit his island. We know that the former White House legal counsel was flying on his plane. That a former prime minister of Israel appears in the files over 4,000 times.
4,000.
But even more important than who stayed is why. This isn't the same as people taking a picture with Epstein 2 times at a New York City party in the early 90s. This is different. We now know exactly who Epstein was close with, who he strategized and planned with, who he shared code words with, and at the same time, the files also
Oh my
reveal
god.
that many of Epstein's
Ew, ugly, ew.
These aren't pieced together from actual quotes and photos. These aren't theories. These are their own words in their own emails, exposed by the United States Department of Justice. And what it tells us about the world we live in is something that most of us already knew but couldn't quite prove. That there's a level of
And then he committed suicide. What a coward.
Simply do not apply. Where you can plead guilty to sex crimes involving a child and then walk out of a private wing of a county jail a year later into a life that didn't change at all. We now know, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that the people who shape our laws, run our companies, sit on the boards of our most powerful institutions, invest in the things we eat and the platforms we use to talk to each other, those people are allowed to look at a man like Jeffrey Epstein, know exactly what he is, and decide that he's not a problem at all. The Epstein files aren't just a record of one man's crimes. A mirror held up to the people who control our world. And what it's reflecting is that the system isn't broken. It was built this way. And no one's emails prove it better than the people who fought the hardest to keep them buried in the first place. Take my word for it.
Period.
Instead, let's look at theirs.
The people who are supposed to look after us are the ones who feed us to the wolves. And it's the people who fought the hardest
From 1995
for the emails to stay hidden, who are
he was the
guilty.
wealthiest person in the world. Before that, he was also the world's youngest billionaire during the 80s and 90s.
We're expecting to do just over 100 million this year.
And still, today, one of the top 10 businessmen alive. It's been known for a long time that Bill Gates and Epstein knew each other well enough for Gates to have flown on Epstein's plane and even have visited his island. Two things that have become this insane albatross around his neck ever since Epstein's death. When you read through these documents Epstein had prepared for Gates, though, I'll admit it looks like a pretty blatant attempt at blackmail. It's really easy to tell how Epstein knew exactly the reaction he was trying to elicit with every word he wrote. And for that reason, it feels pretty fake. To add insult to the injury, you then implore me to please delete the emails regarding your STD, you request that I provide you antibiotics that you can surreptitiously give to Melinda, and the description of your penis. You also made it clear to me that I am not to refer to rejected, as that is another topic that must remain between the two of us. And in return for all these requests, which I would have done without a second thought, I should continue to provide you the same level of service and dedication that I have done so diligently until you are ready to discard me and our friendship. Bill Gates, of course, absolutely denies everything to do with him and Epstein.
Of course. Of course, Bill Gates will deny. Hold on. I'll be back. Bill Gates denies. Of course.
And he still does today. And hey, to be fair to Bill Gates, Nothing else in the docs technically corroborates the outlandish claims that Epstein makes in his email. The only problem is that denials only go so far when your own family refuses to stand in your corner. While Bill Gates and his team are outright dismissing the documents as the desperate ramblings of a man who clearly was trying to hold him hostage.
I never went to the island. I never met any women. And so, the more that comes out, the more clear it'll be. Although the time was a mistake, it had nothing to do with that kind of behavior.
Melinda Gates had her own story to tell. In a brand new interview on NPR's Wildcard show, Bill Gates, now ex-wife of 27 years, described the latest Epstein document release as filling her with unbelievable sadness and reminding her of struggles she faced during her marriage. She would say, "I'm able to take my own sadness and look at these young girls and say, my God, how did that happen to them? At least for me, I've been able to move on in life, and I hope there's some justice for now women." I don't think it would take a chess grandmaster to figure out what she means by that. But Bill Gates is only one person in an ever-growing, seemingly endless list of people who stayed in Epstein's life, shamelessly supporting him for years while they knew he was a pedophile the entire time. But Bill Gates...
They were pedophiles as well.
In fact, when it comes to the full picture of Jeffrey Epstein's social life, this is only the tip of the iceberg. And perhaps nobody illustrates that better than the man who spent 2025 loudly demanding the Epstein files be released, only for their release to reveal his own lies. Elon Musk.
Elon Musk is a disgrace to South Africa.
The leader of companies creating brain-computer interfaces, electric cars, rocket ships, and more. He's also a longtime friend of Jeffrey Epstein. On September 25th, 2012, Epstein writes to Elon Musk, "If you find some time, come visit me on my island in the Caribbean. Bring your friend or friends." Musk replies, "Sounds good. We'll try to make it." For years following his arrest and death, Elon Musk...
Oh my gosh, there's an email address. I'm going to email them.
In September of 2025, as the case began to rear its head again, he wrote, "Epstein tried to get me to go on his island, and I refused." But as it would turn out, the truth would be nearly the exact opposite of what he had insisted for so long. 2 months after their first interaction, he emails Jeffrey Epstein to ask which day would have the wildest party on his island.
Which
He
day?
wanted to let loose and have fun, and asks if Epstein has any parties planned because he needs the opposite of a peaceful island experience. In return, Epstein offers to send a helicopter to bring him. Another email from the fall of 2013 shows Epstein inviting Musk to visit him at his house in New York and meet many interesting people around the time of the UN General Assembly, to which Elon Musk responds with a rant about how busy he is. Before Epstein asks, "Do you think I'm retarded?" Just kidding. There's no one over 25 and they're all very cute. Then,
Crazy.
around Christmas time
There's
again,
no one over 25.
it's a good time to visit the island. Even later on, they would email to coordinate times for Epstein to come have lunch and tour the SpaceX facilities with Musk, and even after that, they would talk more about Epstein's idea to expand Tesla distribution to Israel. Elon Musk's public reaction to these emails has been one of complete
Elon Musk says, "I have never ever been on
However,
any
his public statements do contradict what's in the messages.
Jeffrey
Elon
Epstein
Musk
party
never
or
refused to
island."
visit. In fact, he begged for invitations.
He
Coordinated
begged.
this.
In fact, he
invited
begged.
himself, all while Epstein was a registered file sex offender who just got out of prison 3 years earlier. And here's what should really terrify you. While Elon Musk and Bill Gates may have drawn the most attention, perhaps because their hypocrisy is so shocking, perhaps because of their stature as 2 of the richest men alive, they are ultimately just a few names out of tens of thousands of very powerful people who
on.
continued working and socializing with Epstein even after the whole world knew exactly who and what he was. Peter Attia, best-selling.
Wow. Who is he?
Once upon a time, not too far away.
So far we have Jeffrey Epstein, we have Bill Gates, we have Elon Musk.
Overall, charming celebrity doctor and media personality known around the world as an expert on aging and longevity. But when you search his name in the Epstein files,
Crazy.
it goes back almost 2,000 times. In June of 2015, 6 years after Epstein got out of prison, Tia writes him an email with the
This
subject,
nigga?
"Fresh shipment," with a now redacted image attached. Epstein replies with his own number.
Dr. Peter Attia. Oh my gosh.
Found that picture online. Epstein
Ew.
confirms that the image
Ew.
belongs to him. Tia responds, "The biggest problem with being friends with you is
That's
is
crazy.
so outrageous, yet I can't tell a soul." Over the years, Tia
Him?
asked him about going through withdrawal when he wasn't seeing him. They would joke about nutrients in women's pussies. Tia would reach out to Epstein to talk about visiting his island. He would write, "Nothing like little St. James, I bet." Their emails
That is
would reveal a
crazy.
dark truth from Tia's
Wait, let
personal
me
life,
pause.
what he would confide to his
Crazy. Look, this book is on TV. Oh my gosh. So when it comes to this book, like I saw it, like my sister got them from work, and I remember just thinking, well, not just thinking, like I'm a reader, so I was like, yeah, I'm finna read it. But then when he says pizza atia, I'm like, that sounds familiar. Turns out this book is right here on my bed because I'm trying to read it like this week or something. You know, I'm I'm prepping for it. That is crazy. Girl, imagine Jeff Kinney's on there. Gross. Ah, eat the rich, people. Eat the rich.
Tia shared that in 2017, he had been so selfishly absorbed with his work while on trip to New York City that he did not go home to be with his family in California after his infant son had a heart attack, ultimately only returning 10 days after it had happened. Meanwhile, he had been emailing with Epstein to organize a meeting during that same week. Just days after the files were released, Tia wrote in his apology tweet that in November of 2018,
Apology
he read the
tweet.
Miami Herald investigative article about Epstein and was repulsed and nauseated. But even that was just another lie.
A lie.
After Epstein's crimes were re-exposed by the Miami Herald in 2018, Atia's correspondence with him only continued, all the way up until the spring of 2019. Just before Epstein was arrested, Atia would continue emailing to check up on him. He would ask how he was doing in the wake of the article's release, making sure he was okay and that he wasn't taking it too hard. Clearly, he was not repulsed or nauseated enough to bring their friendship to an end.
He was not repulsed or nauseated enough to bring it to the end. Peter Atia. Disgusting.
What he had done, and they stayed in his circle anyway. Peter Atia is not unique in this. He's not even unusual. Honestly, despite everything I may be able to say about his lies and hypocrisy, he's a pretty minor player. Because the archive reveals dozens of others. Tech billionaires, Oscar-winning filmmakers, people whose names we know, people whose work we're familiar with and consume. And all of them tell the same story. We didn't know, we weren't close, and when we did find out, we cut ties immediately. But all of them are lying through their teeth.
All of
So
them
the
are
question that
lying.
just keeps coming back is simple. What the hell was in it for them? Why would these people stand alongside someone who's
What was in it for you? Why would you stand behind Jeffrey?
And that tells you not just something about Epstein, but about what these people are. These people who run our companies, shape our politics, and build the technology and culture we consume every day. In the spring of 2012, Epstein was planning a trip to Paris, and during an email with a friend, he lets it slip that he's going with Woody. Woody, of course, being the four-time Academy Award-winning, world-famous film director with 50 movies to his name, Woody Allen. And
Woody
then,
Allen.
Epstein's friend asks if they're going for the pedophile convention.
For the
Which Epstein
pedophile
replies,
conviction.
I
Oh,
think pedophile is the plural. And Woody Allen,
period.
besides
I
being
mean,
funny, is also the man who began that sexual
not
relationship
period, but
with
he's like, it's not pedophiles, it's pedophile. Period. Correcting each other. Ew.
They plan visits to Little St. James and Epstein's ranch in New Mexico, organize dinners in New York and Paris. Epstein gives him furniture, he coordinates with his wife.
He's
Woody Allen
pedophile.
he has fame
You guys are
as a-
pedophiles.
He's a highly respected artist. Really, he's one of the most beloved filmmakers alive. Critics praise him with him. He's received every award there is, but at the same time, he spent years scheduling visits to Jeffrey Epstein's island. And the fact that he was right there in Epstein's inner circle for years after the conviction, it tells you something that's deeper than just emails. It tells you that Epstein's world wasn't a shadowy conspiracy. It wasn't hidden. It was full of the same people our culture celebrates. His friends were directors of Oscars, scientists who stand on stage and give TED Talks and release best-selling books, politicians who decide our fate. These are the people we've been taught to admire.
So it was not a lie. Everyone knew Jeffrey could have been called out long
I
ago.
think this is where the Epstein story starts to shift under our feet. It's stopped being about him and what he did, and instead he becomes this virus that spreads to everyone around him until it spreads so far that the entire world starts looking different. Epstein didn't get away with anything because he was clever or even hiding at all. And that makes this not just his crime, but everyone's. Another person who appears repeatedly in Epstein's emails is Reid Hoffman.
Reid Hoffman.
California, who in the year 2000 became the senior VP of Business Development at PayPal, a position that would make him a millionaire after the company was sold to eBay a few years later. But then, along with other PayPal founders and employees, he became part of the PayPal mafia, an
The PayPal mafia.
PayPal executives known for their own massive success after they sold PayPal to eBay. This network includes the founders of YouTube, Tesla, Palantir, Affirm, Yelp, as well as executives from Reddit, Sequoia Capital, Square, and more. In 2000.
Did you know that Jig removes more types of stains than
No, period. Maybe we should also stop trying to be content creators, guys. Let's open the app. Like,
3, he would then co-found LinkedIn and would grow it into becoming the world's biggest business-oriented social media platform, selling it in the end to Microsoft for over $25 billion. Today, Reed
honestly,
sits
start
as
a
the
app,
director at Microsoft,
grow that
before
shit and
having
sell
founded
it.
OpenAI for several years, among involvement in various other AI ventures, with a total net worth in the billions. He also happened to blatantly lie to the whole world about the nature of his relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. In 2019, after Epstein was first arrested, Hoffman went on record saying that he only ever met with him for the purpose of fundraising for the MIT Media Lab, where he had a position at the time. But it would turn out that that was not true, and he had in fact had many more meetings with Epstein up until less than a year before his arrest, as well as having visited his island for a weekend in the summer of 2014. In 2015, Hoffman wrote an email to Epstein after news of his involvement with Prince Andrew first hit the news, offering to help manage the negative press coverage online to cover up what they had been accused of. And the PayPal mafia just keeps showing up in Epstein's inner circle.
The PayPal mafia.
Hoffman, and now even the company's founder himself, Peter Thiel, who also appears in the Epstein files.
Peter
on his own. Peter Thiel, after founding and selling PayPal.
No, guys, we have to say their names. We have to name and shame.
But not as
Because,
an entrepreneur
wow.
himself. Instead, he began a career in venture capital that was considered by many a form of political investing. He would fund tech companies that disrupted traditional industries, building up a huge portfolio of companies like Airbnb, Uber, Stripe. He was even the first outside investor in Facebook, giving them $500,000 in exchange for 10% of the company in 2005. Meanwhile, he would advocate for libertarian politics on the side, giving big donations to figures like Ron Paul and more. But over the years, Peter Thiel's political perspectives shifted dramatically, generating skeptical media attention and a variety of
I think
questions.
Kanye is in the files, guys, because, like, also, I'm seeing a pattern. All of them were nice, and then they start being MAGA, you know?
Publicly questioned the viability of democracy itself, called for a hyper-capitalist corporate takeover of world governance, and, most recently, delivered a series of lectures alleging that the biblical Antichrist is publicly emerging right now in the real world from the movement for environmental conservation. Perhaps most notably, though, the one exception to his career of mostly investing and advocating would be, of course, his second company, Palantir. Now worth over $300 billion, Palantir specializes in building intelligence tools for military and police use, and has been identified by many as essentially operating like a private surveillance state. And Peter Thiel appears in the Epstein files over 2,000 times, with records showing various
Peter
lunch dates, meetings,
Thiel.
and visits throughout the 2010s. And while Peter Thiel would say that his interactions with Epstein were purely a product of Epstein being a, quote, crazed networker, records that emerged later would tell a completely different story. Because by 2015, Peter Thiel and Jeffrey Epstein were literally doing business together. In 2015 and 2016, Epstein invested a total of $40 million in Valor Ventures, a venture capital firm that Thiel had co-founded for funding tech companies outside the typical Silicon Valley bubble. Around that same time, Epstein began pitching that Thiel's fund should invest in an Israeli software company called Carbine that was making emergency communication apps, and they would invest tens of millions of dollars. And in addition to that, the Epstein files revealed that there would be dozens more meetings between Peter Thiel and Jeff Epstein, showing countless invitations and conversations over the years. And despite Peter Thiel diminishing his relationship with Epstein as inconsequential and transactional, they in fact stayed in contact all the way up until just a couple months before Epstein died, far after the world began to take interest in his case yet again. But as I was going through this part of the files, it started to look like Peter Thiel being dishonest was actually the least interesting part of his relationship with Epstein. Instead, I started asking, how did Epstein get involved with this Israeli company in the first place? Who brought it to him? Who connected him to the Israeli tech world and pushed him to shop it around Silicon Valley? And the answer to that is that this company, Carbine, that's today worth over $900 million and deployed all over the world, was co-founded by yet another good friend of Jeffrey Epstein, the former Prime Minister of Israel itself. Ehud Barak is a former general in the IDF who was active in Israeli national politics from the late 90s to the early 2010s, serving at different times as the minister of
Maybe I'm not
defense,
saying it
leader of the
properly.
Labour Party, the head of the IDF, and at one point even as minister as a successor of Benjamin Netanyahu's first term. He also appears in the Epstein files
Oh, it's Barack.
and looking
Without
at
a
the
C,
relationship
though.
as revealed by the release of the Epstein archives, we can
Not
see
Obama.
a connection that goes far beyond casual
Or
acquaintance.
maybe, who
Because from
knows?
2013 to 2017, Barack and Epstein are on record having met at least 40 times, and for some years,
It's
they had
Ehud
scheduled appointments every
Barack.
month. Epstein functioned in many ways as Barack's secret advisor, giving financial and business advice, helping expand his network, and acting overall as a kind of sounding board. And even more than just visiting the island, which he also did. Back in New York City, Barack and his wife would so frequently stay over at Epstein's Upper East Side apartment that it turned into a running joke for Epstein's staff. In 2015, Epstein's assistant emails her colleagues to ask, "Jeffrey is wondering if we can get faster internet for apartment 11J. Ehud is requesting it. Looks like this is slowly becoming his apartment. And if their social ties were close, their financial entanglements could get
Damn.
deeper." In 2015, Barack invested
Ehud
$1.5
was
million in a seed
visiting
fund
so
in
much
California,
that
later revealed as Carbon,
he would
which
even
really
ask
emergency
for
communications
alterations
software startup.
and
much of the capital for that investment had been given to him directly
improvements in his
by Epstein himself.
apartment.
And besides Barack, the only other investor in that initial round was the Israeli Ministry of Economy itself, which contributed $300,000. Basically, Jeffrey Epstein was deeply financially connected to the highest level of Israeli politics. According to Reason magazine, Epstein used Barack to seek out opportunities in the surveillance industry and build connections with powerful figures around the globe, including multiple figures in Israeli intelligence and figures in Vladimir Putin's circle. Of course, there is still the question of what Barack knew and when. He has maintained that he had no idea Epstein was involved with underage girls, but leaked emails reported on by Straight Arrow News show that Barack's own aide sent him news articles about Epstein as early as 2011, 4 years before Epstein invested in Barack's companies. And so Epstein's relationship with the former Prime Minister of Israel has raised even further questions about what exactly Epstein's true role in politics may have been. Because as it would turn out, his connection with Barack wasn't just social and wasn't just financial. Not only is he hosting this guy at his house all the time, he's advising him on politics, emailing about how to deal with Iranian nuclear enrichment, pushing ideas about taking military action against Syria. They weren't just friends and business partners. Epstein was exerting influence with a political agenda as well. And of course, if you want to exert influence over me, you guys can now buy these sweaters where I design and do the embroidery by myself. It's pretty obvious what the meaning is here, that our entire world is being sold out to evil people. So if you want to buy the most morbid and grim YouTube merch ever made, it's available now. It's actually really high quality. The sweatshirts are super solid.
Shit is rigged.
Plus, again, the embroidery is done on location at my studio.
It's every man for himself.
Inside the US for everybody. So you can check out spiritworld.store to support the channel, or click below, whatever it is, cop a really nice shirt at the same time. So if you check out spiritworld.store, you can support the channel, get free shipping for a really nice sweatshirt that's hand embroidered by me at my studio. It helps me keep making these types of videos, and you get something really nice in return at the same time. That's spiritworld.store. The link is below, or there's all sorts of boxes everywhere you can click if you want to buy this sweater and all the really other cool stuff we have on the website. But it doesn't just stop at Ehud Barak. Honestly, he's just the beginning. Howard Lutnick is an American billionaire businessman,
Howard Lutnick.
and now also the United States Secretary of Commerce, a job in the top 10 of the presidential line of succession that's responsible for advising the president on all matters relating to American business and industry. He's also former neighbors with Jeffrey Epstein for many years. And in October of 2025, as the Epstein case began to ramp up once more, Lutnick would vow in public that he had, in fact, never spoken to or met
You gotta say their
Epstein
names.
at one time in
Name and
2005.
shame.
He even told a story to support his claim. According to an October 2025 interview with the New York Post, Lutnick said that he had cut ties with Epstein in 2005 when they were neighbors in New York. Lutnick explained to the newspaper that Epstein had given him and his wife a tour of his Manhattan townhouse, where he showed off his massage room. Lutnick said that he said to him, "Massage table in the middle of the house? How often do you have a massage?" Lutnick told the Post that Epstein said to him he got a massage every day, and then, getting really close to him, told him he gets the right kind of massage. Lutnick told the Post that after leaving Epstein's house, in the 6 to 8 steps it took to get from his house to my house, he and his wife decided that he would never be in the room with that disgusting person ever again. Although, in reality, the newly released files showed that Howard Lutnick had lied.
Of course they lied.
His wife and children to Epstein's island for what would be described as a lunch.
We had lunch on the island. That is true, for an hour, and we left with all of my children, with my nannies and my
He
wife,
lying. He
all
sold
together
his
for our
kids.
family
Ew.
vacation. We were not apart.
Because when they start giving you information you didn't ask for, You know that they're lying. They are trying to
I don't
overcompensate.
recall why we did it.
And even more documents show that they were actually in business together as well. Lednick and Epstein each
We don't believe you.
signed on behalf of LLCs that agreed on December 28, 2012, to acquire stakes in a now shuttered advertising company called Epstein. Epstein and Lutnick's signature appears in labor and condition of contract. The document lists 9 shareholders in total. The Epstein archive also shows them emailing each other all the way up until 2018. This is one of the United States' most senior government officials in office right now today, blatantly lying to the world about his connection to the billionaire who was running an industrial-scale child sex trafficking operation while they were in contact with each other.
The Trump
He didn't just lie
administration.
about knowing him. He lied about vacationing with him and doing business deals with him for years after the world knew exactly what he was. And so we're looking at all these entrepreneurs, artists, celebrities, all of these people lying through their teeth about their association with Epstein, lying about how well they knew him or what they did with him. And the craziest part is, we're still not done.
We're
We
still
all know that
not
Prince
done.
Andrew, son of Queen Elizabeth, was one of Epstein's most loyal associates.
Ooh, wait, I
and
missed
all
the name. I missed his name.
world
We got
knew exactly what he was. And so we're looking at all these entrepreneurs, artists, celebrities, all of these people lying through their teeth about their association with Epstein, lying about how well they knew him or what they did with him. And the craziest part is, we're still not done. We all know that Prince Andrew, son of Queen Elizabeth,
Prince
was one of
Andrew.
Epstein's most loyal
Prince
associates, and
Andrew,
all but criminally convicted
son of Queen
criminals
Elizabeth.
with him, to the point where even the King of England has put out a statement saying he's ready to cooperate with police against his own brother. In addition to that, there are now photos that have been released of him naked with women and crouching over a woman on a floor in Epstein's house. But Epstein wasn't just friends with the figurehead prince. There are, in fact, real working English politicians that appear all throughout the files as well. Peter Mandelson, former EU
Peter
Commissioner, Member of
Mandelson.
Parliament, Labour Cabinet Minister, and UK Ambassador to the US, as well as key advisor to Tony Blair, appears throughout the files thousands of times. Epstein's 2003 birthday book, which included the infamous drawing from President Trump, also includes a pretty similar note from Peter Mandelson, which includes quotes about Epstein being his best pal and mentions the interesting friends that Epstein loves to bring around. But still, it goes even further. They didn't just email each other little giggles and jokes. During this time in Mandelson's career, he was actively in office. And now, with more emails coming out, it's been revealed that he was illegally sending Jeffrey Epstein classified
Mandelson.
information about developments in UK politics. When writing to Epstein about new tax policies,
He-
he tried to lobby his own government on behalf of
He was
businesses
sharing
and lower
stuff.
taxes for bankers, like he and Epstein were working on that together. In 2010, he would give Epstein advance notice of a 500 billion euro bailout scheduled for the next day, and Epstein's documents also show records of him sending payments nearing $100,000 in value to Mandelson and his husband. In the aftermath of these documents being released,
His husband?
Mandelson
He's
has been
gay?
credited as having betrayed his country, with London's Metropolitan Police launching a criminal investigation against him for misconduct in office. Essentially, Epstein had people within multiple foreign governments sending him privileged information. A disgraced former prime minister of Israel using Epstein as a shadow diplomat and a fixer across 3 continents. A sitting British cabinet minister leaking classified economic intelligence to him during the worst financial crisis in Britain's modern history. These are not the relationships of a socialite. These are the relationships of a man who operated at the intersection of money, intelligence, and power. And somehow, it still goes even deeper than that. Ariane de Rothschild, having married into the Rothschild family in the 1990s, is a French banker and current CEO of the
Ariane de
Group,
Rothschild.
an offshoot of the Rothschild family dynasty that for centuries has dominated banking.
Imagine if you're gonna come marry and come ruin the family name.
The most influential family-controlled financial institution in the world. Ariane herself is worth
Ariane.
$5 billion, and despite maintaining that she only knew Epstein in the context of her normal work duties, documents revealed that she in fact held dozens of personal meetings with him
Rothschild.
between 2013 and 2019, paid him a $25 million consulting contract, and also helped him find
Ariane
assistants
de
to create
Rothschild.
was a code word for prostitutes. There are many, many other people in positions of power.
Wait, what's the
who
code
carry
word?
Epstein files and add their own pieces to the puzzle. Catherine Rumler is an attorney who
Ooh,
followed
Catherine Rumbler. Yay, Betu.
him between 2013 and 2019, paid him a $25 million consulting contract, and also helped him find assistants, which according to many outlets is a code word for prostitutes. There are many.
Oh,
many
finding
other
assistants
people in
means
positions of power who appear
let's
in
get them
Epstein
hoes.
files and add their own pieces to the puzzle. Catherine Rumler is an attorney who,
Okay, well,
following
not
a
a
storied
hose.
career as a federal
That's
prosecutor
mean.
involved in convicting the Enron executives in the early 2000s, served for a while as White House counsel, the White House's personal lawyer, under the Barack Obama presidency. Today, she's the chief legal officer at Goldman Sachs. Essentially, she's one of the most powerful lawyers in the world. And when you
One
search
of
her
the most
name in the Epstein
powerful
files, you'll find her corresponding with Epstein dozens of times,
Rumbler.
years after his conviction, years after he
Crazy.
was a registered sex
Kathy
offender,
Rumbler.
years after everyone knew what he had done. Their emails, many of which were sent while she was working under the Obama administration, show Epstein arranging for her to fly on his plane, visit his island. It shows him sending her many tens of thousands of dollars worth of gifts, making jokes about his penis together. This is a former top lawyer for the president of the U.S.
Crazy. Kathy Rumbler. She's the hoe.
Ethical judgment. And she was
She
socializing
probably
and
sucked dick to get up there.
We've reached a point that's almost comical. For years, the curiosity around Epstein seemed like it might be more interesting than the real truth. Like, yeah, he was a file, but that doesn't automatically mean he was running a secret file cabal of baby-killing billionaire freaks. But then his emails came out, and the truth is literally more insane than what people actually imagined in the first place. Epstein was at an almost surreal level of evil. There are things in here that people wouldn't have even made up. Like the Rothschild family having Epstein on a retainer, like him talking about being at a pedophile convention with Woody Allen. It just goes
A
on and
pedophile
on.
convention is crazy.
Researching this video felt like trying to drink an ocean. Every time I thought I found
Period. No.
Every time I
The YouTuber said, this is him. Period. Shout out to him. But he said that during the research for this video and the amount of stuff that they found was like trying to drink the ocean. No, that metaphor ate
thought I had found out everything they did, there was more. It makes the Epstein case feel like it might never die. Even now, after the release of 3 million documents, we know that the government holds 2.5 million more they aren't going to show us. Every time they release anything, we're only left holding more questions than we had before. We now know who Jeffrey Epstein spent the last 10 years of his life with, who embraced him after his crimes were known. But that isn't the end of the story, it's just the beginning. Because ultimately, just Epstein having rich and powerful friends, that's not really proof of anything. But right now, there are more emails depicting crimes horrific beyond our imagination.
Oh my
Emails
god.
that reveal things about our world that are beyond what we thought was possible. There are records available right now that show that the truth about Epstein is far darker than what we had originally even feared.
Why spend all your time soaking, washing, rinsing, and scrubbing when a high-sense dishwasher?
For decades, our society has been obsessed with the idea of secret elite gatherings where the rich and powerful engage in dark rituals behind closed doors. The Stanley Kubrick's Eyes Wide Shut, released in 1999, just weeks after his death, depicted masked aristocrats conducting occult sexual ceremonies in mansions, and we saw it as an exaggerated metaphor, a filmmaker's dream about wealth and depravity pushed to the nightmarish extreme for the sake of storytelling. But now there's this huge cultural resurgence around the movie because the Epstein files have made it impossible to see things like this as just movies anymore. The mass parties,
Crazy. Because like some of the people who were implicated in these things, not implicated, who are involved and participated, not implicated, participated in these crazy stuff. They wrote movies that we thought were like, oh my gosh, wow, like how, like this is so crazy. Oh my god, this is so creative. But for real, this went down with Jeffrey Epstein. This is what happened on the island. They did these rituals. Like, I don't know if y'all saw that, but like, oh my gosh.
Who looks too close will be silenced. The idea that the real world operates on a set of rules that ordinary people are never allowed to see, it's not fiction anymore. If anything,
It's not fiction.
it appears like it's probably far worse. In Eyes Wide Shut, the movie shows one night in one mansion with one group of people, but the Epstein archives show us a system, spanning decades, continents, and virtually every pillar of power in the Western world. At the same time, we see how it was operating in plain sight. Because these aren't random rich people we're talking about. These are the people who decide what technology we use, what companies we work for, what laws get passed, what wars we fight, what information we see and what we don't see. The Secretary of Commerce, the richest man on earth, the founder of LinkedIn, the people building the AI that's going to shape the next century, the people who advise presidents and prime ministers. This is the elite of the elite. There is no one higher than this. And look, I
For
get it.
real, like
Governments
these
have told
are
us for years that this was just
gods.
Caesar, that the conspiracies are overblown, that Epstein was just one sick criminal and Maxwell was his only accomplice. The DOJ says they found no co-conspirators. Officials insist that every wild theory or accusation is just paranoia. But then you keep reading and you find an email from a billionaire in Dubai that says, "I loved the torture video." Then another one is full of redacted images with the caption age 11. Then there's another email where they're talking about pizza and grape soda while giggling that no one else can understand. And then you find out that he was doing business with Israeli politicians and British politicians and American politicians and their advisors, Democrats and Republicans, and writing about Mossad and Jewish supremacy and how to get children addicted to video games and how to breed perfect babies and how to make young men disillusioned and believe in extremist politics. And then you actually look at what's in these files, not what the government says is in them, but what's actually in there. And it's not just bad, it's not just disturbing, it's enough to make our deepest, darkest conspiracies look like a joke. Every one of the worst, most strangest, insane ideas that's been said about Epstein turns out to have real evidence towards its truth. And so if you think what we've looked at so far is disturbing,
So imagine the worst thing you can think is in those files. That is a joke because it's worse. Like they literally spoke about how to get kids addicted to video games so that parents keep buying for those things. This is a lot. And this video has 1 million views, but it was only released 17 hours ago. Can you imagine how many people have been waiting for this video? This guy might get killed. Like, let me just show y'all. I'm so hungry. This is a lot to take in. Oh my gosh, Peter Atia.
if you think the list of rich, influential people who stayed around Epstein after they knew what he was is horrifying, we haven't even gotten to the bad part yet. What we need to understand now is what they were doing, what Epstein's purpose was, why he was so valuable that way, why the government let him operate for decades, why his network reached into intelligence agencies and political movements, and why all of this was allowed to happen in plain sight. Because this is how our world really works. This is the level of wealth and power where the rules do not apply. For decades, our society has been obsessed with the darkness of the upper levels of power. We've written books and made movies speculating what power and control really means and what it really looks like. This isn't just a story from the past. This is a mirror being held up to the present, to the world we live in right now, to the people who control it, and it's going to make you sick. Online complainant reported she was a victim and witness to a sex trafficking ring at the Trump golf course in Rancho Palos Verdes, California
Trump.
between 1995 and 96. Complainant reported Ghislaine
He
Maxwell
took a bullet for the country.
friends of whom included Epstein, Robin Leach, and Donald Trump. Complainant reported participating in orgies and that some girls went missing, rumored to have been murdered and buried at the facility. Complainant reported being threatened by Trump's then head of security that if she ever talked of what went on there or who she saw, she would end up as fertilizer for the back 9 holes like the other cum. That's a real document in the Epstein files. But of course, just because it's real doesn't make it true. Trump Golf Course in California wasn't open until 2006, 10 years after the story supposedly takes place. The Epstein files, which include over 3 million images, documents, and videos, also include nearly every single tip the FBI ever received, verified or not, with regards to his case. And if all of them were true, the world right now would be in some really deep shit. Like billionaires and presidents having parties on boats where they eat kids type of mythological demonic shit. One of them reads, on the yacht he witnessed babies being dismembered, their intestines removed, and individuals eating the feces from the intestines. He was then raped by George H.W. Bush. But even though many of these tips likely aren't
George
true or
Bush,
even possible, that doesn't mean that the Epstein files still don't call into
Donald
question
Trump,
everything
Melania
we know
Trump.
about the
Say
world
their
we live in
names.
today. And look, a lot of what went viral after these files dropped was fake. The email saying that Epstein invented Bitcoin, fake. The Fortnite account supposedly proving he was alive in Israel playing video games on his Xbox all day, fake. AI generated photos of politicians, unfortunately fake. People lost their minds over a bank account that they thought Epstein named after an ancient Jewish demon, but it ended up being a computer glitch. It was supposed to say balance. And this stuff is crazy and it generates headlines, but at the same time, it buries the truth under a mountain of noise. Because you don't need crackhead stories about burying girls under a golf course to see that the truth is ultimately even more horrifying than anything that anyone could have made up in the first place. On September 22nd, 2016, Jeffrey Epstein receives an email with redacted images attached, sent just minutes apart. One is labeled pussy, one is labeled girls, and one is labeled age 11. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's not an anonymous tip from someone who's requesting Bitcoin to prove the truth. These are real emails that Epstein was getting and sending, exposed by the U.S. Department of Justice. But before 2025, the case against Jeffrey Epstein, at least in the public eye, was built primarily on
Pussy,
suspicion.
girls,
The idea that
age
Jeffrey Epstein
11.
was part of something much bigger than himself and that other people were
Like, what do you even
involved
see in a young
included
girl?
two
Like,
facts. Number one, Jeffrey Epstein was rich, a pedophile, and had a ton of powerful friends. And number two, he was found dead in a jail cell under suspicious circumstances. That alone is something where you don't need to be crazy to hear it and think something's wrong. In fact, you might be crazy if you hear that and don't think something was wrong. And so as a result, in the last couple of years, even though the historical, political, legal narrative was that Epstein worked alone and didn't leave any footprints behind, he still became this symbol of everything wrong with our society. Epstein came to represent corruption. Specifically, the idea that people at the top of society play by a completely different set of rules than the rest of us. That not only did he get away with crimes against humanity under everyone's noses for decades, but before he
for
could even be forced
decades.
to answer for what he had done, he mysteriously died while he was sitting in a maximum security prison wing. It looked a little too convenient. It looked a little too
Yeah.
much like someone wanted the truth to die with him. And that's why it didn't. And then slowly, very slowly, evidence came out and it showed us that the truth was even worse than we had suspected. At first, it was small. Little drawings, notes, inside jokes.
I don't think he died. I think he's out there some way, running away from all this.
Hiding being a pedophile. Everyone around him knew it, and they didn't care. And then
Period.
after years of pressure, 3 million documents from
Period. Period. Eat. He's saying that if you are good enough to do all these without being noticed, like, you don't need to be Tabo Besta got out of prison, nigga. Like, Jeff is out there. Jeff is out there. Tabo Besta got out of prison. Like, you don't need this rich. Like, come on.
Revealed that it wasn't the case that Epstein ever got away with anything. In reality, he didn't just get away with the crimes he had committed in the first place.
He got away with
He
it.
was allowed to keep going and make friends with the world billionaires, politicians, and thinkers all at the same time.
Shield him.
No, period. No, for real. I never thought about it that way.
On Friday, April 24th, 2009, Epstein
He ate that up.
after his 2008 conviction of prostituting minors emails a friend to say, "Where are you? Are you okay? I loved the torture video." That email would be revealed to have been sent to none other than Sultan Ahmed bin Sulayem, CEO of a shipping
Bin
company,
Sulayem.
DP World, that handles over 70 million shipping containers annually, roughly 10% of shipping traffic in the entire world. His
Wait,
brother,
kids
Mohammed
are
bin
probably
Sulayem,
put
was
in.
president of the FIA, the governing body of Formula One car racing. Bin Sulayem also spent years
Bin
on the
Sulayem.
sovereign wealth fund in the UAE and is a landowner in Dubai's Palm Islands. He's one of the most powerful and richest people in all of Dubai. But it goes, of course, even deeper than just emailing each other about torture videos. In 2016, the larger island neighboring Epstein's Little St. James, Great St. James, went up for sale, and Epstein, having already had his bids denied while trying to buy it in the past on account of being a sex offender, made a holding company in Sulayem's name purchase the island for between them involved sharing links to porn videos and discussions. At one end would email Epstein to tell him the Ukrainian and the Moldavian big disappointment that the Moldavian is not as attractive as the picture. This is literal confirmation in writing from a first-hand, first-party involved person that Epstein was trafficking women to different powerful people around the world.
He's trafficking women.
Was true. Here he is with a man who controls one of the biggest shipping companies in the world, one of the most powerful men in
And
the world,
Salayim helped.
talking about torture porn while he's in prison, sending him prostitutes to help him buy more islands. Epstein was exactly who they said he was. He was doing horrific, disgusting shit with people who sit at the highest level of power and influence in the world. And the more you read, the worse and worse it gets. In 2014, someone writes to him, "Thank you for a fun night. Your littlest girl was a little naughty." After U.S. congressmen were allowed to view unredacted Epstein files in a secure context, they would report back that many files that had been redacted were relating to crimes against 15, 14, 10, and even 9-year-old girls. They would also say that they had identified at least 6 men, one a high-ranking foreign government
She was
official,
so
one a
naughty.
public figure, who were all directly involved in Epstein's trafficking activities. There is now undeniable proof that Epstein was doing exactly what everyone suspected he was doing. He was running a ring of pedophilia with the richest people in the world. Other files in the Epstein library include an FBI document with a list of underage
Poor
victims,
girls, and then they
acknowledging
killed
that
them.
Epstein was in possession of what they called obscene material, and countless redactions filed for child sexual abuse material not scanned. But here's what gets me. Those emails, the torture video, the littlest girl, the age 11, these are the ones where they were talking casually, where they aren't hiding anything. But many more of the Epstein
They are.
emails turn out to contain evidence of stuff that's far worse going on just
They have
on the
secret
surface.
codes.
Something that, again, was before considered a nightmare too disgusting to even be possible. In 2016, just before Donald Trump won the presidency, a conspiracy
There are
theory
secret
alleged that
codes.
prominent Democrat politicians were running a human trafficking operation using seemingly normal food-related words like pizza, pasta, and cheese as code. Activities linked to child sexual abuse and human trafficking went viral. Following that, people became convinced that Comet Ping Pong, a pizza restaurant in Washington, D.C., was a meeting ground for the satanic ritual abuse that these politicians were allegedly engaged in. The story eventually attracted mainstream media attention, and within a couple of weeks, a 28-year-old man from North Carolina traveled up to D.C. and began firing an AR-15 at the restaurant, among other violent incidents. In the end, no substantial evidence of the Pizzagate story was ever produced, and the conspiracy is mostly remembered as being a product of the mentally unstable far right.
The craziest fake news of all is something called Pizzagate. People actually believe a conspiracy theory that Hillary Clinton and her former campaign manager, John Podesta, ran a child sex ring at a pizzeria in D.C.
But Trump was just trying to cover his
where did this
ass.
conspiracy theory start? Apparently, some alt-right folks were combing through Clinton campaign emails hacked by Russia and published by WikiLeaks, and noticed there seems to be more references to pizza and pizzerias than they had expected, which can only mean one thing: secret sex.
The library was released.
Like, how did you get
Something
there?
strange happened, because buried in these millions of emails across years of correspondence with countless different people, Epstein and the people around him were essentially speaking in a way that is exactly like what Pizzagate had described, and it's in there over and over again. The word pizza itself appears in the Epstein files over 900 times, with countless examples that make it clear they weren't actually talking about food. One email reads, "This is better than a Chinese cookie. Let's go for pizza and grape soda again. No one else can understand. What time do you want to get pizza and grape soda tomorrow? Your pizza is yummy yummy. Feeny asked me about a pizza party this weekend." And it wasn't just pizza. Epstein's staff would receive instructions using air quotes around all sorts of words that clearly had alternate meanings. JE has confirmed he would like you to serve snacks at 8 p.m. on Tuesday. Jabor would like to come see Jeffrey today at 1 p.m. He wants snacks. Can you be in charge of snacks?
Jabor
Lunch,
Y. Leslie
similar
Groff.
Snacks. They're literally distinguishing between the real word and the code word in the same email. The person writing this knows that snacks doesn't mean snacks. They literally clarify that they aren't talking about lunch. Of course, I'm not necessarily saying that Pizzagate was true. I don't really believe that there were people trafficking little kids out of the basement of a pizza shop. Add on to that the fact that none of the politicians that were accused of being involved in Pizzagate are mentioned in the Epstein files.
Period.
But the core idea,
Come on,
this
Obama
idea
is
that
good.
historical
Hillary
evidence
is
by
good.
Judge
Kamala
how
Harris is
people
good.
involved in systemic abuse of children were
Democrats are
communicating
good.
codes for food as a code, that wasn't crazy at all. In fact, it's exactly what was happening. It's just back then
Reopening the
they
Pizzagate.
didn't really get
Ooh.
right who was doing it. And pizza is far from the only word that gives credibility to this theory. In fact, there are others that are way more suspicious. For example, Epstein and his staff spend hours talking about his obsession with jerky. how they have to bring it on planes and fly it around the world just to make sure he has enough. Why would someone in Epstein's position in life, with his money, his status, and his schedule, have time to obsess over beef jerky for hours every week? Why are there emails where Epstein is asking people on his staff how to deal with the frozen white tuna? Jeffrey Epstein was a billionaire. Billionaires are not sitting around worried about how to manage the contents of the dozen different refrigerators at their 6 different homes. This is a moment where you have to remember the story of Jean-Luc Brunel, the French modeling agent who received millions of dollars from Jeffrey Epstein
Jean-Luc
in 2004
Brunel.
to pay for the launch of a new modeling agency that would go on to run campaigns for some of the biggest retailers in the world, from Nordstrom to Target and Sears and more, while at the same time Epstein would be quoted as saying he had slept with over 1,000 of Brunel's girls, having had girls from the agency flown to his houses and island from all over the world. American authorities would go on to call Brunel a co-conspirator of Epstein,
Brunel.
and he ultimately went into hiding after Epstein's death in 2019 before being arrested by French National Police in Paris and hanging himself before he could
Jean-Luc Brunel.
Seeing Epstein write about moving jerky around the world on planes, worrying about where to put all of his frozen white tuna,
So he called the girls jerky.
It's hard not to connect these dots. Sometimes they didn't hide what they were doing at all. In 2019, on February 14th, Epstein gets an email that says the kid couldn't have done bikini wax because her hairs are too short. Next time, sir, I'm already at the dentist waiting for the kid. Then there was the dentist.
The
In Epstein's
dentist.
emails, the dentist is mentioned almost 2,000 times. He writes about sending other people to the dentist in New York. There was a dentist room on his island featuring masks resembling his friends across the walls. In one email, he writes someone telling them to send $20,000 to the dentist for redacted. There are emails where Epstein is complaining about a dentist breaking someone's jaw, and emails back to him about a nurse piercing someone's genitals and entire body with needles. This stuff is absolutely nightmarish, monstrous shit. And I don't even have time to get into the emails where Epstein would write to bury everything on the island because he didn't want to deal with it. The time that Epstein would instruct his staff to buy a replica of a painting that depicted the killing of kids. And then there's Jeff Staley, who in the early 2010s worked as the CEO of investment banking at JP Morgan Chase. And it was at JP Morgan that he would manage the bank's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein himself, where the story goes that he would protect and advocate for Epstein, despite colleagues pointing out multiple times over the years that Epstein should not be a client at the bank. Epstein's chief defender at the bank was Jeff Staley, a top contender
Jeff
to one day
Staley.
succeed Jamie Dimon as chief executive. Bank officials for more than a decade were anxious about Epstein's prolific wire transfers and cash withdrawals. JP Morgan ultimately processed more than $1 billion in transactions for him and warned senior management about his suspicious activities. But on at least 4 occasions over 5 years, the bank's leaders overrode those objections and continued to serve Epstein. In 2023, JP Morgan would settle for $290 million after a group of almost 200 of Epstein's accusers served them with a lawsuit for having enabled Epstein's crimes knowingly for over 10
JP
years.
Morgan.
Attorney Mimi Lee stated in court that Epstein's entire business with JP Morgan and JP Morgan's entire business with Epstein was human trafficking. By the time it was made public that JP Morgan had essentially enabled Epstein's crimes for a decade, Staley had already gone on to work as the CEO of one of the largest banks in Europe. But his involvement was not completely over, as the release of new Epstein emails showed that Epstein wasn't just his client, he was Epstein's client as well. In 2010, Epstein emailed someone about wanting to photograph them in a Snow White costume. Then, a month later, Staley writes, "That was fun. Say hi to Snow White." Epstein replies, "What character do you want next?" Staley says, "Beauty and the Beast." Separately, someone else emails Epstein to say, "The Snow White was fucked twice as soon as she put on her costume." Later on, during a civil case against him, a victim identified as Jane Doe 1 alleged that Staley personally observed her as a trafficking victim and used aggressive force in his sexual assault of her, and told her that he had Epstein's permission to do whatever he wanted to her. Staley has still never been charged with anything. And even on top of all of this, just absolute horror, the files only continue, as we see that again the government turning a blind eye to Epstein in the years during and after the charges against him resulted in not just a continuation of his crimes, but in him beginning to build a far-reaching political and cultural agenda as well. In 2011, Epstein was introduced by Boris Nikolic, longtime scientific advisor of Bill Gates, to a 23-year-old man named Christopher Poole. Poole, at this point, was already famous.
Christopher
or should I say
Poole.
infamous, given that he had already been voted by Time as the most influential person in 2008 after founding the anonymous online forum 4chan when he was 15 in 2003. 4chan, over the years, would become both the internet's most culturally influential and also most horrific platform, a breeding ground for the most viral memes and extreme ideologies and even real-world violence, described by
4chan.
some as an incubator for the darkest corners of online culture and politics. Its B-board, in particular, attracted significant media attention when it became a lawless home for the sharing of porn and other illegal content in the early 2010s. But Nikolic writes to Epstein, "There is a really cool kid you should meet. He's only 23. Read his bio." Epstein replies later that he loved meeting Moot and he calls him bright. He said, "I drove him home. He's very bright. I liked him a lot." Later on, Nikolic sends an article about 4chan, writing, "This article describes why I find Moot interesting. The potential for manipulation is huge." And it just so happened that just 2 days after Christopher Poole met Epstein, 4chan would open up what would become its most famous board of all, Politically Incorrect. And of course, it's impossible to know what he said to Moot when they met or how many times they met, although it was confirmed that they would meet up multiple times after their first introduction. But either way, the timing of that initial meeting is curious, because Politically Incorrect, or POL for short, after being launched in October of 2011, would quickly become known as a home for anti-Semitism, white nationalism, and even as the ideological origin point for a number of high-profile mass shootings around the world. And it didn't stop there. It would become, in effect, exactly what Nikolic and Epstein thought it could be, a place where the potential for manipulation was huge, a place where anonymous, disaffected young people could be radicalized, organized, and even mobilized. Undoubtedly, POL is the birthplace of the wave of populist ultranationalism that has come to dominate the landscape politics in the 21st century so far. And over time, POL's potency and influence has become so large that, considering its destabilizing effect on American politics as possibly the project of an intelligence agency, has been impossible to ignore. Over the years, various pieces of evidence with things like IP leaks showing a huge overrepresentation of users in Israel, it's given credence to the idea that the CIA, the IDF, or the FSB, or something else entirely, may have manipulated or even originated the rise of the alt-right in the early 2010s completely on purpose. And Jeffrey Epstein was there at the beginning. And that may just be a coincidence. But it might also be a coincidence in the same way that having a multi-billionaire write 900 emails about ordering cheese pizza from his friends while they giggle about no one else understanding their code words is just a coincidence. But if we're being honest, 4chan, for all of its outsized cultural influence and Epstein's strange involvement, that may have still just been a relatively minor curiosity in Epstein's world. Moot from 4chan is not the only online political personality Epstein would meet with. Steve Bannon is a former chairman of Breitbart.
Steve Bannon.
He was the chief strategist in Donald Trump's White House in 2017. At one point, he was also the vice president of Cambridge Analytica, the data firm that harvested the personal information of tens of millions of Facebook users without their consent to build psychographic profiles and micro-target voters with political advertising designed to exploit their individual fears, prejudices, and vulnerabilities. And perhaps most importantly for the purposes of this story, he's also one of the most influential voices in the MAGA movement, the host of the War Room podcast, and the man who arguably did more than any other single person to build the ideological basis of America's far right. And he appears in the Epstein files almost 2,000 times.
Steve
Their relationship
Bannon.
wasn't casual. It wasn't transactional.
Steve
It wasn't
Bannon.
photos and handshakes at parties. It was, by any honest reading of these emails, one of the closest and most significant friendships of the last decade of Jeffrey Epstein's life. After meeting in 2017, Epstein and Bannon began texting constantly, sharing political intelligence, mocking Donald Trump behind his back, and scheming on how to reshape global politics together. At the same time, Bannon was helping Epstein rehab his PR. They recorded dozens of hours of interviews to help Epstein change his image. He told him, "You're engaging, you're not threatening, you don't look at all creepy."
Do you think you're the devil himself?
No, but I do have a good mirror.
In April of 2019, Bannon writes to Epstein, "We must counter the narrative that says is to traffic same female children to be by the world's most powerful, richest men." This is one of the most influential political operatives alive, the man who came up with Trumpism and designed the right-wing resurgence that dominates politics today, sitting in Jeffrey Epstein's corner, trying to help him fix his image. Even on the very same day Epstein was arrested, his last day alive as a free man, they were texting about meeting up for breakfast to continue their project of making Epstein look better and bring him back into the public eye. The last message reads, "All canceled."
Choose your price up front. square root of 144?
You can't choose your questions, but you can choose your price for a ride.
There's a lot of content I'm not going to cover in this video, and that's because the files have become such a powerful, never-ending stream of disgust and horror that there's no point in trying to cover all of it. I think at this point we all get it. The Epstein files made it clear that his crimes were worse than most people imagined. It's worse than the government was willing to admit. The world allowed it to continue when it could have been stopped many times over, and that Epstein was not just a pedophile, but somehow more connected to the highest levels of global politics and economics than anyone ever thought. There are elected politicians walking out of classified briefings right now saying that they saw evidence of crimes against girls as young as 9. There are 14.6 terabytes of what the FBI called obscene material. There are dozens of folders labeled child sex abuse material not scanned. And it all sits in between Epstein rubbing elbows with the most powerful people alive. And all of this comes from the years of Epstein's life where he was supposedly in hiding, supposedly disgraced by his crimes. All this stuff where Bill Gates and Elon Musk and Peter Thiel are meeting up with him, a former prime minister of Israel stayed at his apartment 50 times, helped him invest in companies, Saudi billionaires are helping him buy islands. This was while he was in exile. Barack Obama's White House legal counsel was flying on his planes, sending him kissy emojis, calling him up to ask for gifts of handbags and shoes. The man who is today the United States Secretary of Commerce right now lied under oath about doing business with Epstein and vacationing on his island with his wife and kids. Then there's the tech billionaires. Almost every person who's now considered one of America's oligarchs, our country's 100 billionaires who wield an outsized influence over politics, they were meeting with Epstein for years while he was supposedly living shamefully in the shadows. And still, after all of this, after everything we now know, 70 to 80% of the files are still redacted, while the US government says there is no more story to tell, and that Epstein was never running any kind of organized trafficking operation to begin with. Meanwhile, civil suits against his clients are settled left and right, with dozens of powerful people going into hiding after the Epstein files revealed their crimes against humanity. It is genuinely no wonder that people have started to think Epstein was a spy, that maybe he worked for Mossad or the CIA. The way our government reacts to him today, refusing to prosecute any of his confirmed accomplices, refusing to admit anything happened at all, not only have they declared there will be no more charges, no more files, no more indictments, at the same time, they also haven't even investigated the site of his massive ranch in New Mexico, where he mysteriously won an $80 million lottery ticket, grew plants that are known for being used to incapacitate sexual assault victims, and hosted New Mexico's governor himself as a house guest. The institutions that are supposedly built to protect us, the Department of Justice, the FBI, the courts, Congress, are not just failing to solve this case,
They work with
are
him.
actively choosing not to.
They're
Who else
protecting
would they
him.
do that for, besides someone who is benefiting from them? Under what other circumstances would Epstein's mysterious death be covered up? Because if Epstein were just an asset for Democrats, or just Republicans, or Russians, there would be a massive reward out there for whoever could expose what really happened. But there has been no such expose. So
Come on.
who else could be protecting the truth about Epstein but the deep state itself? And then one day, I get a phone call from the president in September, and he's so mad at me, he's yelling at me, he's angry, he's chewing me out for signing my name on Thomas Massey's discharge petition to release the Epstein files. Green added, and I'm trying to tell him, Mr. President, they say you did nothing wrong, but this needs to come out. And we're having this argument, and he tells me on the phone call, Marjorie, my friends will get hurt. It's not like there isn't precedent for something like this. In the 1950s, the CIA opened a brothel in San Francisco specifically for the purpose of trying to develop.
Why do stupid shit? Why do shit if you don't want people to know you're doing shit?
Random guys, slip them psychedelic drugs after they were done with the prostitutes, and try to see if they became more easily influenced or controlled as a result. The experiment, of course, did not work. Instead, it just resulted in countless lives ruined and even deaths, as American spies would go on to secretly test on American citizens for decades, including with MKUltra, where they would set up fake research experiments and blast unsuspecting hospital patients with drugs to the point where hundreds of Americans had their brains melted, sometimes permanently, without ever knowing why. And so the idea that an intelligence agency would allow unthinkably horrible crimes against innocent people as a means to an end is not science fiction. Honestly, it's old news. Of course, we only even know about all of this by accident. The CIA would do their best to destroy all evidence before it was suddenly, unexpectedly revealed in the late 70s. But when I look through stuff like this, I can't help but be reminded of Epstein himself. At 24 years old, Epstein got hired at a job he had no business doing by the father of a future United States Attorney General, who at the same time had recently left his job in the OSS, the United States spy agency before the CIA was formed. Then, after being fired, Epstein ends up working as a banker at one of the most prestigious firms in New York City, before being asked to leave when he got caught for insider trading. After that, he's on record working in some capacity for Adnan Khashoggi, the Saudi billionaire arms dealer who is known around the world for being the key player in the Iran-Contra scandal, where the US government, specifically the CIA, secretly, illegally sold weapons to Iran during an international embargo. It was around this time that numerous people would go on record saying that Epstein had introduced himself to them as a CIA agent. He was also known for having and using multiple passports with different names on all of them. Later on, he ends up in a long-term relationship with Ghislaine Maxwell, daughter of Robert Maxwell, a man who not only owned hundreds of millions of dollars worth of publishing companies and newspapers, but was also known for having ties to Israeli intelligence, to the point where he received an Israeli state funeral, attended by the Israeli president, prime minister, and 6 serving Mossad officers, despite having never been an Israeli citizen himself. But Maxwell would famously suffer a death not dissimilar to Epstein, as he mysteriously fell off the side of his boat while sailing around the Canary Islands in the early 90s during a time of financial instability in his business, with rumors flying that he had been trying to extort Mossad at the same time. Epstein then magically
Heartburn is caused by stomach acids rising. Gaviscon double action neutralizes these.
This is all so
He
crazy.
starts accumulating an unbelievable amount of wealth in public while becoming one of the best connected people in the world at the same time. He's hosting presidents on his private island, flying celebrities around on his private Boeing jumbo jet, meeting the Pope, and then even after he gets arrested for soliciting little girls, he somehow doesn't get prosecuted for all of the other evidence FBI spent years accumulating against him. Ultimately, not even being sentenced to prison, but instead hanging out in a county jail for a few hours a day while he spends the rest of his time in an office taking meetings just as he always had. And even after he gets out of jail and is sent to register to live out the rest of his life in exile, he only accumulates more influence, meeting with the world's richest men, somehow getting banks to give him a free pass to keep trafficking, even though they knew he was doing it. And meanwhile, on the side, he's exerting his influence over a wide range of political situations and speaking in a form of code so obvious that it all but confirms his sexual crimes against children only continued after his first time in jail. And then, just weeks after being arrested a second time, before he can ever have his day in court, Epstein is found dead in his cell with evidence on his body that conflicts the official narrative stating he took his own life instead of having been killed by someone else. That is literally the biography of a spy. And when you add all this together with the way that the US government has refused to offer any account of what Epstein was really doing and who his clients really were, instead putting forward shockingly flimsy deflections and excuses, it starts to look an awful lot like Epstein may have never gotten away with anything, but instead was part of a much bigger machine than we currently understand. He was rich for essentially no explainable reason, has a history going back decades of international spy involvement, claiming to be a spy in front of other people, was given a huge break after he was caught the first time, with multiple people involved in his 2006 arrest saying that they were basically told not to pursue the case because of how important he was. And then you add in the fact that he was literally killed the next time they got him. My point is that the Epstein files aren't just about what one man did. Epstein was a monster, you know. Maybe he was eating babies, maybe he was breeding kids in an underground lab in New Mexico, and then it's okay, he's bad, it was gross. But unfortunately, people like him are a fact of life. Some of them are billionaires, some of them aren't. And there are a lot of examples of people doing stuff like what he did. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Jimmy Savile, the British radio host, molested hundreds of kids over decades and was never stopped. As horrible as it is, these things happen. And the point of the story is not about the monster, it's about the system that allows it. What really truly disturbs me about this story is how it shows us that we are in a world right now today where a registered sex offender can walk out of prison and then have the richest man on earth begging to visit his island within 2 years. And this is the thing I keep coming back to. It's not about the billionaires or the politicians or the intelligence agencies. It's about us. Because the reason the Epstein case won't die isn't because people are obsessed with conspiracy conspiracy theories, it's not because people are bored or paranoid or looking for someone to blame. It's because when we were growing up, they told us the world was fair, that if you work hard, good things happen, that the people in charge earn their place and they're there to look out for us, that the system works, that the moral arc of the universe bends towards justice, or whatever it is that the shit-lit Reddit people say. And, you believe it because you're young and you trust the world you were born into. Why wouldn't you? And then slowly, piece by piece, we start to notice that things don't add up. A billionaire gets a slap on the wrist for something that would put you away for decades. Politicians lie on camera and nothing happens. A corporation poisons a river and they pay a fine that amounts to a Chipotle bowl out of their bank account. And each time, we're told it's an exception, that the system isn't perfect, but it works. And then Jeffrey Epstein happens, and it shows us the clearest, most undeniable proof that this story that a bunch of crazy people won't shut up about is actually true. There is a level of power where none of the rules are broken, where you can do the most evil, depraved, unforgivable things imaginable to the most vulnerable, innocent people on Earth, and nothing will happen. Not because the system failed, but because the system worked. It did exactly what it was designed to do: protect the people at the top. And it feels like a violation of our rights as people to live in a world where our freedom and liberty are protected. And when people like Epstein are allowed to take people's freedom and liberty away and torture them and then get away with it, this is a crime against humanity. And that's why people care. That's why this case doesn't go away. Not because we're fascinated by Jeffrey Epstein and his crimes. He's dead. People care.
Is he
because of
dead
what it means
though?
for the rest of the world. People care because there are people out there right now today who are still rich beyond measure, still living like kings, free and powerful, who are passing around little girls as young as 9 years old like they were objects, and there has been no justice. They need the outrage to fade. They need you to accept that this is just how it is, and there's nothing you can do about it. And maybe they're right. Maybe there isn't anything I can do. I'm just a guy on YouTube. I can't arrest anyone. I can't unseal the files. I can't undo what Jeffrey Epstein did. But I can refuse to shut up about it. I can refuse to let the story die. I can say, look at what they did. Look at who knew.
Look at what they did. Look at who
Look
knew.
at the world we actually live in. They
Period.
want us to forget. It's our job to make sure that never happens. And I think we should all know what this pattern of power look like when it runs to its natural endpoint. Because there are more than enough places where history shows us exactly that. Jeffrey Epstein is obviously not alone in being evil and powerful.
Look at who knew. Look at who protected him. Look at how little was done.
One thing I think about all the time is Idi Amin. He grew up in poverty in the 1950s in Uganda, rose through the ranks of the government, and after becoming president, became known as the Hitler of Africa, killing up to 500,000 people during his rule, among other atrocities. And in a time like this, it's fascinating to see how power unilaterally corrupts, and what that corruption can bring about later down the line once it begins. It's something I've thought about a lot after watching Mad Kings, the new docuseries from Real Life Lore. They have episodes about Idi Amin, Uday Hussein, Kim Il-sung, and more, all focusing on the modern era's most insane rulers and kings with details and content that go far beyond the average YouTube video. And this is possible because it's only on Nebula, because a big part of their mission is to be the best place for creators to make videos we wouldn't be able to make anywhere else. Nebula is a platform I own and co-founded with other creators as a place where we can elevate ourselves to a level above what we were previously capable of.
Period.
By coming together to create our own platform, it's quickly become the most interesting, fastest growing independent video site on the internet. Nebula is the home of creators like Lindsay Ellis, Leo, Bobby Broccoli, and hundreds of others. Basically, if you want to see real, critical, interesting, long-form content with human creativity and research behind it instead of AI, there's no better platform. Of course, they have fun stuff too, with exclusive original comedy shows like Abolish Everything and the hit travel game show Jetlag. Basically, Nebula is the answer to the question, how do you make content that's high quality, interesting, and unique in a world that's increasingly filled with slop? I mean, slop in every definition. But all this stuff at the internet is basically being overrun by
Period.
Nebula has none of that. So if you want to join a platform,
This nigga deserves a hug.
enabling us to make things we never could have done before while staying true to our vision, you can get access to exclusives like Real Life Lore's Mad Kings docuseries and a lot more by joining Nebula today. But the best part is Nebula isn't just the most interesting video platform.
Nebula was a weird name though. Like, wait, what was the inspiration?
50% off your subscription, just $30 for a whole year for the most interesting video platform on the internet. Again, that's nebula.tv/Volksgeist to get a year of Nebula for just $30. There's a number out there that's
Oh my god, he's in trouble. Like 1 million
swung the
views.
book up to over 500,000 views. The Epstein files became, overnight, the most viral video I've ever made. Half a million people tuned in to watch it in the middle of the night. It's the first time that ever happened to me. I then opened my phone to see that YouTube had completely demonetized the video.
Crazy.
No more ads, no more money.
Ooh, he's in trouble. Come on, let's watch it. Protect him. I won't lie, I'm tired. That video was long. You.
No more income. Upon requesting a review, they then confirmed their decision. They cited a policy around controversial issues, with their specific reason being descriptive content relating to child abuse being the main topic, followed by a totally unrelated paragraph.
That's crazy, bro. Like, that's a hit.
They did include a timestamp so I could be aware of which part of the video was breaking the rules. However, I'm going to play you a clip from that section right now so we can all see which part of the video YouTube deemed being unsafe for advertisers.
Mm-hmm. You were just telling the truth. What's his name, girl? Oh my god. Volksgeist? Girl, that's a crazy name though. Like, how do you even pronounce that? He's in trouble. They're trying to silence him and he ate.
I won't play the whole section because it's almost 3 minutes long, but I'm really curious why this is the part of the video that they listed as being unacceptable. The part of the video where I'm calling out tech leaders and politicians.
Call them out.
Why would they approve this video? Let it rack up 500,000 views, let it become my most viral video ever, and then tell me I can't make any money from it. When I woke up this morning and looked at my phone, I just thought, holy shit, I'm fucked. I worked for the last 3.5 weeks to make a video about the Epstein files. It took so long. I was working on this every day, and honestly, I'm late. Actually, we worked. My brother, who directs our visuals, and our research assistant, Antonio, were all collaborating to make this video as good as we possibly could. And we took a long time to do it. It took essentially the entire month of February to make this video as good as possible. Researching, writing, 8 hours of recording on different days, editing, color grading, graphics animation, sound mixing, revising, packaging, all of this work that we had to do with human creativity and manual tools, not relying on AI to steer the ship.
That's on period.
It took a long time. Finally, weeks later, done. I rendered the project, I uploaded it, waited for YouTube to approve it, which they did, and when I took a shower and I went to bed, it felt great. And when I woke up in the morning, I saw
you can see the tears in his eyes.
only 2 minutes later to find out that my income was being taken out of my hands by the same company that's supposed to provide it. For the past year, my channel has been growing like crazy. Our first video on Epstein reached 6 million people. We hit 1 million views covering Peter Thiel. We covered J.D. Vance, and I even wrote my own little history video to great success. We are up almost 200,000 subscribers this year alone. But I've been doing it without asking for anything. In the past year, I've turned down almost $70,000 in gambling, gaming, and food advertisements simply because I believe in building a relationship of trust and respect with my audience. That's also why you guys basically don't know anything about. Probably more than half the people watching this video right now don't even know my name. In my work, I don't use clout as a currency. I'm just not interested in that. I'm not on here to create a media franchise with clips of me going max into the camera. I just want to tell stories that are interesting and matter. I realized last year that I want to tell stories that people need to hear. We're clearly moving into an era where it's difficult to find content that's even made by humans, let alone accurate or honest. The internet is, quite frankly,
YouTube is part of
for the
them.
most part, it's being
Eat
overrun
the
by
rich.
absolute
Eat
garbage
the
generated by
rich.
or content that's designed to make you angry and draw revenue from you with misinformation. And having been on YouTube for 8 years, now being 26 years old, I've dedicated my entire life to knowing how to make a good video. And so recently, I felt strongly compelled to use those skills in a way that is genuinely important. So if I can't make a video talking about literally the most important subject of our time right now, without YouTube saying, hey, that 500,000 views you just earned is worth nothing. Clearly, this isn't going to work. And I do think it's pretty ironic and suspicious they blacklisted this video and then said that the problematic part was the one where I'm lambasting politicians and tech leaders using their influence.
They
The
did.
problem wasn't the flight logs, the emails about age 11. That wasn't an issue.
That
The
wasn't an
issue was the
issue.
part where I'm calling out and saying, hey, the people who surrounded Epstein are the people who run these platforms that we're all using. The
Mm.
people on the boards of Microsoft and OpenAI and Goldman Sachs. That's the 30 seconds they couldn't allow. And maybe that's a coincidence. Maybe someone got lazy and tagged the wrong part. I don't know. But I will say that there are people on the board of Google who overlap with the people in the Epstein emails. But the point is, away from the conspiracies, my mission in life right now is to keep making these videos until I've made a real, serious mark on our culture and society.
Go
I
on.
need support to continue doing that. I
Uh-huh.
think we're in a moment where creating online content that isn't actual garbage and full of lies is extremely important. But I can't keep relying on one single company to pay my bills and my family's bills when they can't even make sure that I can do that. I am literally paying salaries over at YouTube. They take 40% of my ad revenue and donations every month, and they don't make sure that I'm good. Meanwhile, they continue to cater to the lack of truth and honesty in the world today, adding new AI features that no one asked for all the time. So I've opened my Patreon back up, and my goal is to make $5,000 a month, because I want to keep dedicating myself as much as I possibly can to making the best documentaries
I would, but
on
I'm
anywhere on
poor.
technology, politics, history, culture. I want 1 million subscribers. I want to go on location. I want to show things in theaters. I want to be interviewed. I want to be on TV. This is obviously not an easy task, but this is all I want to do. Honestly, guys, I don't travel. I don't drink alcohol. I don't do drugs. I don't buy expensive things. All I do is make videos. This is my entire life. If I'm going to do what I'm doing at all, I need to be able to do it without fear. That means being independent and having freedom. And so I don't want to let YouTube control me and decide my fate. So I'm asking that if you can and if you want to, come support me on Patreon. Help me build a more sustainable platform so I can keep doing this content, talking about how the world really
Cause
works.
like I was just
and
saying,
explore
1 million
culture.
views
I'm
is
not someone sitting here doing
wow.
cold opposition like Tucker Carlson. I'm not secretly funded. I have no political affiliations. I'm not from a rich family. I'm not funded by anybody. And that's why
You just
I
a
keep
real
doing this
bitch.
for
You
as
just
long
a
as I
real ass
possibly
bitch
can.
just trying to
Because that's
hustle.
what makes me valuable. I am doing this independently. I do have the freedom to say whatever I want to say. So I'm not going to stop. We owe it to our future children and we owe it to ourselves to keep spreading these stories as far as we possibly can. We are literally living in a world that's hostile to us and our rights. Corporations are building systems designed to exploit
Amandla.
us financially and mentally and consume the fabric of our society, while crimes against humanity go unpunished. The least we can do
But 1
is
million is
know
still a lot of
that we
people.
spoke their crimes out loud. My name is Philip D'Amico. If you want to support
Philip
my work,
D'Amico.
go to patreon.com/Volksgeist and become a member today. Bonuses and rewards can include having your name in the credits of every video I make, access to my scripts and sources, and merch gifts as well. Thank you so much for your support, and I appreciate all of you who continue helping me make these videos possible. I'll see you soon.
It's him reading the script like, oh, shame. That is so sad. Oh my gosh, that is crazy. The world we live in, bro. The world that we live in. Hi. Okay, so ish. We've been live for an hour and 30 minutes. That's a new record. Okay. So ish. A lot has happened. A lot was said. So honestly, it gets to a point where it's like, honestly, personally for me, it's like, what does my opinion matter? Because I feel like there's just so many people who have power, who have more power and more influence than I have, and they're not doing anything with about it. Like they're all scared. No one is doing anything. Nothing is gonna be done. Things have been like. Personally, do I believe John Jeffrey Epstein is dead? Hell nah. I don't think so. Like, I when I saw the suicide pictures, because I think there's a picture of him like on the news where they're like putting him inside the pathologist truck or whatever. It reminded me of that scene on Money Heist. You know, in the end where they fake their deaths and then that's how they escape. That's literally the first thing I thought of when I saw that picture of Jeffrey Epstein. That they had to make sure that, no, guys, look at him. He looks purple. He's lifeless. Like, as greedy as he is, really think he would leave all this money behind? Like, really? Did it rain that day? Because when bad people die, it rains. No, it didn't even rain that day. Yeah, it's just crazy. It's disgusting. It's gross. Honestly, I have nothing to say. Like, or maybe I do. You know, let me sit in silence and just. So yeah, right now I'm just thinking we have this man. We have these people who are just untouchable. I tried my best to like say their names because I think in situations like these, that's what we need to do, guys. Like we need to name and shame for real. Like for me, I think I'm just gagged. Like wow, you know. Let me go on Reddit. Maybe let's see. Maybe like let's try and read some comments of what people are saying. But yeah, and then as for Philip DeMarco, I've watched his videos a lot because like he hasn't always covered like these like political stuff, right? He did like the video of Aaliyah, um, Andre 3000, Kendrick Lamar, Doechii. You know what I'm saying? So I like videos like that because I'm more so in the entertainment industry. Like I love such content, you know. But I have been asking, especially in other YouTubers and their like communities, like on their pages, asking like because I do like long form video essays that are very comprehensive videos like this, right? I enjoy content like this, and I've been asking people like, please work on something like this, you know. When I saw his video in the morning, I was like, period, I know he ate. Without a doubt, I was like, you know what? I'm even gonna react to it live because why not? Because I also don't have the time to be editing. I don't have a team behind me. Color grading as well. Nope. No, ma'am. So, yeah, like, we just have these people who are just abusing their power. And my thing is, like, why is it that, like, why do they do, like, pedophilia? You know? Like, why is it that they always do that? Like, why do they always go for little girls? Like, couldn't you go for animals? Like, couldn't you go for each other? Like, there are so many people who are age appropriate that you can do stuff with. You know, like why must it always be little girls? Like, why do rich people always go for like or always do like extreme? Like, why are they like why are they aggressively hedonist? You know, like, so vicious? Why is it so aggressive? Like, not but like it's like if you have money, of course you can do stuff like buy a yacht, like go on vacation, like plastic surgery. Like why must it be? Like why do people enjoy doing stuff they're not supposed to do? Like why do people enjoy hurting people? Like there's this one guy who's like, "Oh, I loved the torture video." Like why? Okay, so I'm on Reddit now. Yo, there's a thing. There's already like a community. This one person says, "Oh, who finds the Epstein story boring. Babes, it's not supposed to be fun. Like, what do you mean?" And I think there's also a problem with Gen Z. Like, people want to be amused. Like, people cannot sit with discomfort. Like, everything has to be fun or a meme or a trend. Like, I've seen Epstein file memes and Epstein memes and him and Diddy. It's like, okay, we get it. But, like, there's also cannibalism. Like, this person says, yeah, the whole cut up his feet with a sword, but in a magical way, where I left no scars, isn't real. I think it's more likely they gave him drugs. And then for them to try and silence that video was well executed. But like I'm gonna like I don't know, girl. I need to sort of add him in my SEO. You know, I gotta add his name there because that video is doing the rounds. Like that video got motion. Okay, let me see. Let me try and see if I can do that right now. But like, yeah, the cannibalism. Honestly, I don't even know what to say. I'm just stunned. I'm too stunned to speak. But hopefully, like I played my part. You know, like I watched the video just to get context because I've wanted context. He did a video talking about how we got here. I think this video was just more so reading, just also naming the people involved. So I think how we got there doesn't really matter. Or maybe it does. I don't know. But like, mm, it's just crazy out here. Like I'm just stunned to speak, bro. Okay, I think I'm just gonna end the live over here, you guys. This was crazy. So yeah, stay safe out there. Let's just pray stay good. Let's eat the rich, you guys. Like, also, let's hold people accountable because what they're doing is crazy. It's wrong. Yeah, like, I don't know what more to say. Like, I'm just stunned. Just stunned. You know? And I also appreciate the effort in that video. Like, that was a very comprehensive, it was well done. And they cannot silence him. So, yeah. Bye bye.